Oh my gosh. Are we good to go?
We've got a low network connection,
Okay,
so let me
okay.
just quickly turn off the Wi-Fi.
Hi, baby. Hi.
I think we're live, Jake. I think it's working this time.
Okay, awesome. Well, sorry y'all for our technical difficulties. I think we're with you for real this time. Welcome to a very special Take a Break with Jake. My name is Jake. Kelsey is behind the camera as always, and we're here to celebrate this little one. He actually turns 1 year old tomorrow, so it's almost her hatch day. She came to the zoo as an egg from the Memphis Zoo and hatched out last July and has kind of been at the bottom of the pack in terms of the hierarchy of our little flamingo flock, but still remains one of our favorite birds here at the zoo. Can y'all move out of the way? It's Ahi's birthday. Thank you. Thank you. So to celebrate, I have all these cute pink balls all around us that the flamingos don't care about. And I made her this nice cake out of krill that she doesn't care about. So it's basically like a 1-year-old human's birthday where, like, you know, you as the parent are doing all of this work and like all of this build up, and then the baby is a baby and they're like, I don't care, thank you though. So I feel some solidarity there. Hopefully other people understand what I'm talking about. Look, it's a cake. Okay, thanks.
And she walks away.
I tried.
You did. It was a good effort.
It was, thank you. So we'll give the cake to everybody. Everybody can have a little piece of cake. This is their krill. So this is like tiny little creatures. And fun fact, those black dots that you see are the eyeballs.
Oh.
Isn't that horrendous?
I did not know that, Jake.
And now I have eyeballs all over my fingers.
Let's try not to touch your face with that later.
Yeah, I know, right? So krill is like kind of a treat for all the flamingos, and it's one of the many things that has lots of those orange and red and pink carotenoids in it. So that gives them those nice pink colors. So we offer krill every single day here at the zoo, maybe not in this quantity, but it's a special day. It's almost Ahi's birthday, so we're gonna give her all of the love and all of the krill. You can see in the pool there's some other food bits happening. The flamingos get 2 different kinds of pellets. They get a floater pellet, which are all the ones floating on the top of the pool.
Crazy.
And then they also get a sinker pellet, which, get this, sink down to the bottom and allow them to forage for them on the bottom of the pool. So that helps mimic their natural diet, which in the wild is things like crustaceans and mollusks, little fish, algae, phytoplankton, all kinds of tiny plants and animals that live in pretty salty, pretty brackish, even water, which is like a mix of salt and fresh water. Chilean flamingos are really cool birds. They live, surprisingly, in Chile. They actually live in many parts of South America along the Andes Mountains. And they live in these really big, really hot, really salty areas of water. And that's where all their food grows and lives and thrives. And then that's where you find the flamingos feeding on all that food. So they'll move from place to place periodically to find different food sources or just to kind of get a change of scenery. But generally speaking, they're going to stay in the large salt flats up high in the mountains. So that's the best chick in the world. That's Poblano right there in the middle. And you can see, if you look closely at them, that we have all of them banded to help folks tell them apart. Every single flamingo actually looks very different from one another, and they also like have distinct personalities. But the bands really allow you to just like really quickly look at them and be like, oh, you're so-and-so. So all of our chicks that we hatched out last year here at the zoo are named after peppers. So Ahi, who's right here.
I'm zoomed in on the wrong one.
Oh, sorry. I picked the wrong one.
It's fine. We'll start with Ahi.
Whose birthday we're celebrating today. Her hatch day is tomorrow. She is no band because she was our first Chilean flamingo. So she gets the honor of like not wearing any bling. From there, we can go back to Ghost, who's our tallest and biggest baby. He has a bright orange band. Behind him is Chalaka, who's a little girl, and she has a green band. We'll skip these 2 for now. We'll come back to them. Poblano in the middle of the pool has the white band. Right behind him is Paprika with the blue band. Behind her is Cayenne, who has a red band. in between Cayenne and Paprika, kind of moving towards me, is Jalapeno. And then right behind him is Habanero. So that's our chicks. And I don't think we've ever formally introduced our new friends.
Nope, we have not.
So a couple months ago, we collaborated with our friends up at the Columbus Zoo to bring 4 of their flamingos down here. They had a small flock of ambassador flamingos just like we do, but they were looking for a new home for theirs, and we were lucky to be able to add them to our flock here. So we have Eli with the bright yellow band right there.
On one leg, or no,
Oh,
walking
now 2.
away.
Yeah. Maddie's right here with the little blue band. And then Marty and Shorty are the other 2 who are with each of them. Marty, Shorty. Cute. So those birds are actually, Eli and Maddie are about 10 years old, and Marty and Shorty are about 14. So they're adult birds, and you can kind of see when you look at them, they're quite a bit brighter than our chicks still. And that's because chicks hatch out gray or white and take up to 2 or 3 years to get fully pink. So it takes a while for all those pigments to build up in their feathers. So it's kind of cool to get to have some adults and some kids together so that people are able to see the difference between them as they age.
And even still with these guys being full grown, they're still quite a bit whiter than our Caribbean flamingos.
Yeah. So the Caribbean flamingos are a very like coral color, and they also stand like 5 feet tall. The Chilean flamingos, this is as big as they get, maybe 3 feet tall. And yeah, much less of that bright, vibrant pink and more of like a pale, very pretty pink color.
I enjoy their aesthetic personally.
Yeah, it's cool to have 2 different kinds of flamingos here at the zoo. Hopefully in the future we'll have more kinds of flamingos. That's the dream.
So, question from Arlene, real quick, Jake. Arlene wants to know, can you see these when you visit right now? What's the sitch?
Sometimes, yeah. So typically our ambassador animal staff, that's the team that I'm on here at the zoo. We present our live shows every day here at the zoo so people can see animals up close and see them doing natural behaviors. We take them out for encounters all around the zoo, all kinds of stuff like that. So they're always kind of being seen by folks. And we were doing a daily flamingo walk. Now with the pandemic, we're trying to be safe for people and animals alike. So we're doing much more scaled back encounters. But you can see a member of my team, our awesome department, we're out there every hour from 10 to 4 with some kind of animal on the path anywhere in the zoo. So we have been walking the flamingos sometimes when it's safe to do that. Other times we're taking an owl out, or we're flying a turkey vulture. You might get to see a snake out with us. So you can definitely still see some of your favorite ambassador animals, just not at scheduled times at this point, because it's all when we can do it and when and where we can safely do it.
Makes sense, Jake.
Yeah.
Are the newer flamingos, aka the older flamingos, are they joining the flock for walks at this point?
Yes and no. Getting the flamingos out for a walk is really hard to do with like a much shortened staff schedule and number of bodies here to help walk 12 flamingos. And it's also not really safe to walk all 12 flamingos when the park is open, which means we have to do it at like 8 a.m., but that's prime cleaning time. So they have gone on a couple walks with us, but we really haven't been able to get the full flock out just yet. But at the Columbus Zoo, these 4 did regularly do walks, do public interaction, so this is like nothing new to them here at our zoo. It's actually kind of funny, I worked at the Columbus Zoo in 2012 and 2013. And I got to work with these 4 flamingos when I worked there and like took care of them and stuff. So it was fun to see them. They did not remember me. They do not care about me. I've moved on. Thank you.
I was wondering, there is a newer flamingo in your life these days.
I have Poblano, so that's all I need. Yeah. And he's been very sweet recently. Hi.
She's very chatty right now.
Yeah. So he is really, much like all of the rest of our chicks, they have favorite people here at the zoo. He never really loved me, and that's fine. But she loves Casey, who's one of our other keepers here at the zoo. And Casey actually took her out for a tour the other day because we're still offering online virtual tours with the flamingos once a week. So someone was doing that, and Casey took a he over, and a he fell asleep in her lap, which is the cutest thing ever. So she's still a sweet little angel, even though she's turning 1 year old. You're getting big. I know. we're gonna miss, if you look at them closely, like if you look at the babies, they still have a lot of gray on their heads, and their eyes are still kind of like gray. There's like darkness around them and inside their eyes. And then if you look at an adult, comparatively, they have all white faces, their eyes are very white, and then they have the black pupil. So, oh, that was nice, Maddie.
Okay.
Cool. That's like a good reminder, I guess. Flamingos are like not generally the sweetest creatures to one another. And it's really easy for us as people to be like, oh my gosh, that wasn't nice, just like I just did. But that's how flamingos communicate. So although it would not be good if Kelsey, you or I or other people went around like shoving people out of our way and being like, move, that's like perfectly normal for flamingo talk. So that's what they do to interact with one another, just kind of like peck at each other and push each other around. That's very normal.
Does that mean I need to start doing that to you?
Please don't.
Okay.
No. The funny thing is, like, people are always like, oh, the flamingos are fighting, they need more space. If you look at our exhibit, Caribbean Flamingos, you know that that's, like, obviously not the case. Flamingos are kind of funny because they like to be on top of each other, but then they also will poke and pester at each other. That's just what they do. It's really kind of interesting to get to see here at the zoo. So definitely, if you're in the area, you're able to come out to the zoo. We're open every day of the week right now. Still our normal operating hours. All of the like updated pandemic information is on the website. So that's nashvillezoo.org.
Forward.
Forward /
You've been gone for a month and you already forgot.
I know. So you can check out the website to find out all the information about what you need to know for your visit, what's closed, what's open, etc. On the website as well, there's an opportunity for you to go to our online gift shop, and that's where you can get cool shirts like the shirt that I'm wearing today, which is a cute Nashville Zoo shirt. And you can find all of the different merchandise that we sell at the gift shop online. So if you want to like get a gift for someone, you don't even have to come in. You can just get it online and get shipped right to you. So that's a great way for you to help us and our animals out during this weird time. Look at Ghost eating over there. Did you see that? So he's grabbing those pellets, and you see that filter feeding in action. So he's going really quickly with the water in his beak, kind of shoving things around, trying to find the right pellet for himself to eat. And then once he finally grabs one and decides he's ready to eat it, then he tosses his head back a little bit to swallow everything. I hear you're so noisy. You're just standing here.
Just chatting.
Hi, chatty girl.
Sue, the pink balls are just for fun.
It's to celebrate Ahi's birthday.
We tried to be festive.
The flamingos are really funny. And our Caribbean flamingos are very much the same as the Chileans here. It takes them like 2 or 3 days to get accustomed to something, and then it's like, oh, okay, nothing new here, I can handle this. So although they've had a couple balls, like these little plastic balls before, this many was just like a lot. So I had them all in the pool, and they would like not touch the pool for 2 hours. So we pulled them all out, and lo and behold, the pool is fun again.
Look at that.
Back in. And making a mess. They're pooping all over the pool.
We love that.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got a couple of questions, Jake.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and take them.
Certainly.
So Heather's wondering, when you hear them vocalizing in a group, what does that mean?
Oh my gosh. So many different things. Just like humans, like sometimes we sing together, sometimes we yell together, sometimes we're just chatting back and forth at each other. Flamingo communication is very varied, and there's lots of different things that they can mean. Usually it helps when you're looking at them to kind of see what they're doing. But generally speaking, if you're walking down the path at the zoo and you just hear a lot of commotion at the flamingo exhibit, that means that they're just like bickering amongst themselves. If there's something alarming, they can do like alarm calls, and that's like a pretty clear sounding different noise. And that is usually accompanied by like everyone being quiet and looking for the cause of the alarm call, as opposed to continually vocalizing. But it just really depends on the individuals and like what they're trying to communicate. Our babies still make a lot of baby noises, so that's the like, that one, thank you, Ahi. That's, we say, ba ba ba. And the funny thing is they do often respond to us making that noise.
Oh.
Just a little stretch there. I think that's Maddie down there. Yeah. This is fun to see too. Typically the 4 older birds are together, and then our younger birds are together. But Maddie somehow got separated from the flock, and she's being surrounded by the babies. But she doesn't look too upset about it.
We'll see how long that lasts.
And so that's her buddy back there vocalizing to her. Okay, she's coming. Oh, you're gonna come to her. That's fine.
That's nice
You
of
got a
you.
feather on your face.
Normal.
Yeah.
It's like having lettuce in the teeth, right?
Yeah, very normal for the flamingos. What other questions do we have, Kelsey?
Well, I think it's worth noting real quick that the other bird we hear in the background is Oliver, right?
Yeah, you can hear our crow, and I heard our cockatoo earlier. That's the crow. He's probably able to see us just a little bit
through the door
window here, so he's like, hello? Why is everyone else getting attention?
Okay, Eva asks, when they spread their wings out wide, is that a dominance thing? And we just saw an example of that a second ago.
It certainly can't be dominance. It also can be stretching. They do that a lot. They just like spread their wings and flap a bunch just to kind of like stretch out. But it can be a variety of different communication kind of things, and it just depends on like what they're doing when to know kind of like what it actually means. So probably down here what Maddie was doing was more of just stretching. She doesn't really try to exert dominance over other birds. She'll just fight them if she lets them out of her way. Whereas some of the other individuals will certainly try to be a lot more aggressive in their assertion of dominance.
Let's see. Sammy's wondering, does everyone have favorites?
Like all the people or all the birds?
Let's go with both.
Okay, all of the people here at the zoo for sure have their favorite birds. Not all of the birds have a favorite person. Poblano he's generally, I'm his favorite person. I was gone for about a month after procedure, and he like kind of forgot about me, which was frustrating.
Oh my gosh, Jake.
About that. But he's back into like loving me again, thankfully. Just not as much as once before, which is very traumatizing for me.
I'm really sad for you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. He really loves Casey, and that's like her go-to. She'll just be a baby for Casey. Habanero and Ghost, like a couple of the different keepers here at the zoo. Chilaka is like kind of equal opportunity. If you're quiet and calm, she'll come over and be friends with you. Paprika wants nothing to do with anybody ever, and that's great. And then Cayenne is kind of, again, like sometimes she'll be really sweet and want attention, and other times she's like, I'll just be here, thank you. Of our new friends, back in the day, Eli was my buddy, and I really loved hanging out with him. He doesn't want anything to do with me now. He's like paired with another adult, so he's like, thank you, goodbye. Maddie is still really sweet. She's our one little female here. She's still pretty sweet, but you have to get her away from her buddy. Otherwise, she's like, no, I have him, thank you. They're fickle birds, that's for sure.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Olivia asks, do they slip easily when they walk? And I'm assuming she's talking about because they have those webbed feet.
So they can slip. There's some parts of the zoo, like the boardwalk over by Spider Monkey, that we noticed when we would walk them on that, their feet would slide on that, so we just don't walk them over there anymore. The pool here is poured concrete, and there's some texture to it. I think I, as a human, slip far more often than the flamingos slip.
Really?
In either of their pools, yeah. We have these mats in here to help them grip on, and they're light enough that they can stand on the mat without moving it, but humans are not. So if you are like coming to clean the pool and you're like, oh, I'm gonna step on the mat because that's gonna keep me safe, that's when you end up on your bottom in the gross, dirty flamingo water.
Noted.
So don't do that.
I will do my best. Let's see. Sandra asks, can you have pet flamingos?
No. Like, A, why, and B, like, no. Why is like, flamingos are very gross creatures. I don't know if you can tell like how like there's poop in the water.
Right there.
Right there. And they poop where they eat.
I mean,
They just
this was
don't care.
like clear when I walked in.
I know. And the same happens with their bowls of food. We have like freshwater bowls of food out here, and they literally will just like poop directly into it and then turn around and eat from it. So they're very gross creatures. They like to be in a big flock, so like minimum is 7 individuals. It's better to have more to make them feel really happy and secure. So like if you have one, you have to have 6 more.
Yikes.
Not ideal. And then I think there's like the whole ethical conversation of like, do you need a wild animal as a pet? Generally, I say no to that because there are a lot of like companion animals like dogs and cats that have been domesticated to live in a house. Flamingos are a little bit harder to do. You'd have to have a lot of like specialized knowledge about their care and how to feed them and how to house them. So generally, I like to tell folks like exotic animals don't make the best pets for most people. But certainly if you're like very well educated, you have a lot of money. That's the other thing. Like having money really helps when you have pets.
Weird.
Yeah. Certainly you could have an exotic as a pet, but I would recommend against flamingos. They're gross.
True.
So generally speaking.
April, all the pink balls are just for fun. We tried to have a party and they didn't like it. So they're all out of the pool. Well, except for...
Yeah, we had
2.
some stragglers.
Okay, Jake, I saw a weird and random question earlier
I
that
love
is
those.
for you.
Okay.
From Roger.
Okay.
Docent Roger.
Okay.
He wants to know, have you ever used krill in your baking?
Gross. No, I've eaten krill before, not on purpose. But like, you know, like you go eat lunch after you clean or after you feed birds, and you're like, I washed my hands. Like, joke's on you. No, you didn't. And those black things in your teeth are krill eyes.
Yum.
Disgusting.
Happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. But I guess people eat shrimp and like they like
Yeah.
that. Come on.
I have a question for you for later that I need answered, but we'll leave that off camera.
Hi. How's the baby? Hi. How's my guy? How's my guy? So cute.
Austin, yes, Jake does know who is who by all of the bands that are on their legs and just by like personality.
Excuse me, thank you. You can definitely tell, like, once you work with them every day, you can tell them apart really easily by behavior and by how they look, just generally.
Yeah, they all look very different.
Okay, we don't need to do this. Thanks.
I'm gonna try and like zoom in here. Like, all of their tail feathers look a little different. Everybody has a different pattern.
Blano has these like fuzzy ones coming out near his bottom. He also will sometimes like droop some of his flight feathers down just randomly. Let's see, somebody else who's like a good, easy one to tell apart.
I mean, I think he's really easy.
Yeah.
But I guess I haven't seen her and Paprika next to each other.
Yeah. Sometimes they have like one that looks similar and then they'll stand right on top of each other and you're like, oh, that's not helpful. But those bands are a dead giveaway. They all look different enough that you can tell the bands apart.
Yeah. And we identified all of them a little earlier in this broadcast. So after we finish this live, definitely go back and you can see who is who.
This is Ghost and Poblano arguing right now. A little spat.
Sue is asking whether we need donations to help feed the animals, and that's a complicated question to answer. We do need donations, but we don't have a way for you to specify this goes toward feeding animals. We have a donation button on our website for operations, which is what that category would be. Hope that helps.
Thanks, Sue. We appreciate it.
They are all getting so big, Angela. You're totally right.
Yeah, so just to remind everyone, these, 8 of the birds that you see here today hatched out here at the zoo. They come in an egg that's roughly the size of one of these balls, but maybe like a little more chicken egg
Squished?
shape. It doesn't.
Oh.
No, this is good to relieve stress, but nothing else. Not as an egg substitute. Maybe a little bigger than this. And they hatch out of the egg. First of all, they're in the egg for about 30 days. So that's when we transported the eggs to our zoo from the Memphis Zoo and Zoo Atlanta. That's where we got all of our eggs. And then we hatched them out with the help of our avian team and our awesome vet team here at the zoo. And then they were just cute little fuzzy, cute baby birds for a while. And then they started eating more on their own and were like very gross, smelly baby birds. And now they're the giant birds that you see here today. And just to kind of give people an idea, like a full grown, which is what pretty much everybody here is, Flamingo of this species, the Chilean flamingo, weighs about 2 to 2.5 kilograms, which is about 4 to 6 pounds. So they're still very lightweight, even though they're like tall birds.
Yeah, that always blows my mind.
Yeah, most of their weight is in their feathers.
Drew, that's a good question. Do the birds pair up, or is there an alpha in the group?
Definitely you see pair bonding as the birds get older. Within our small flock, before we added the 4 adults, you would see like Poblano and Ghost and Habanero and Jalapeno all kind of jockeying for like top dog position. Now it's kind of an every person for themselves game, except the 4 adult flamingos, there are 2 pair bonds within those 4. So like Eli, who's being a bully right now, which again is like perfectly normal. It's just very easy to get emotional about it as a human. Eli will gang up on birds with his buddy, and then Maddie will sometimes gang up on other birds with her buddy.
Sarah asks, why do they have black specks? Sarah, I'm assuming you're talking about the feathers here.
Yeah.
So Jake, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so just like our adult flamingos, you can't really see their black feathers. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, the Chilean flamingos hatch out gray, and then they grow to this like awkward stage that they're in right now, which is like a lot of white, gray, pink, and black. And then when they're adults, they look like this, which is mostly like a pale pink with some bright red. And then you can see, I think that Shorty there has 1 black feather coming out. Their flight feathers have black on them. So if they spread their wings, you can see more of that. And then the babies just randomly have black feathers on their backs. But if you look closely, like some of them have a lot. Like Chilaka over here has a lot of black feathers on her. And the Habanero doesn't have a lot on him. Everybody's a little different.
Love that.
Yeah. Gosh, it is just so hot.
So warm. Scarlett, the 4 new ones were named when they got here. Good question.
Yeah, they came in with those names. And they had been at the Columbus Zoo for about, well, I guess as long as they were alive, pretty much. They came as little babies to the Columbus Zoo. So a couple had been there for about 9 years, and a couple had been there for about 12 or 13 years.
Jake, what do you think about standing in the shade?
I love that.
Let's do that.
Do you want to go to that shade?
Yeah, let's
there?
go to that corner.
Perfect. We're mind grading. I'm going to give them the rest of this krill cake.
Okay.
Here you go.
Wow.
Look at all that nasty krill.
And we're terrified of it.
You know, everything's terrifying.
There we go.
It's brand new. Oh, this is nice.
This is nice. We should have done this to start.
I know. Hi, birds. Do we have any other questions coming in so far?
Let's see. I don't see any other questions unless I forgot one at the beginning. Angela asks, what is the lifespan, or how old can they get?
Chilean flamingos can live upwards of 50 years in human care.
That's crazy.
I know, which is great news.
Is that about the same for Caribbeans?
Yeah, I think based on what I had read a couple weeks ago, most flamingos can live around 50 years in human care. They're obviously going to live less long in the wild because they have to worry about habitat loss and where they can find food and what predators are around. But generally speaking, they can live quite a long time.
Good question, Austin. Austin asks, how do you keep them from flying away?
So we clip one of their wings. We just do like a haircut, basically. The feathers are all made of keratin, just like our fingernails and our hair, so it doesn't hurt them to have their wings clipped. We do regular well checks on all the flamingos once a month, where we weigh them, we look at their feet to make sure that their feet are doing okay. Hello?
I think the 4 older ones found the krill.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
We know it's there. We put it there.
That's just like very typical bickering back and forth. That deeper call that's like short, like staccato, like bah, 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 bah. That's them arguing. Ooh, Crazy.
Sassy.
I don't even remember what we were talking about before the big fight. Of
Lifespan.
2020. Lifespan.
The 50 years in human care, typical Caribbean.
Oh, clipping their wings.
Oh, that too.
Hello. They don't even care. Okay, I'm just gonna talk loud. So we get them rounded up once a month to weigh them, look at their feet to make sure their feet are growing properly and they don't have any sores or anything on them. And then we check their flight feathers out. And if the wing that we trim is getting too long, then we can like clip. And that prevents them from flying away. Typically, we don't see the flamingos trying to get away because they have everything they want right here. They have all the food, they have all of the other bodies to fight with. They have people who love them here, so they're very happy. But if it gets windy, sometimes they'll like flap their wings and be like taken up into the air. You're like, oh, you need a wing. It's time. You're
It's time
6
for
feet
you.
in the air. It's time. In the wild, flamingos typically only fly from point A to point B if they're looking for a new food source. So if they've kind of depleted the lake that they're in, or they're just trying to get a change of scenery, then they'll move, typically overnight in a nice long flight. Hi.
Hi, Barbara.
Barbara.
Sorry you missed most of it, but we will post it later so you can watch it. We miss you.
We miss you.
Heather asks, since the water gets dirty so quickly, how do you clean it and do you do it multiple times a day?
Oh no. The flamingos like it dirty. Their bowls start out like pristine in the morning. We like scrub them by hand and then fill them with clean water and put food in there. And they literally will like pick up rocks and stuff from their yard and dunk them in the water and play with rocks in their water, in their food bowls. So no, they don't need like brand new fresh water. And there would be literally no way of keeping this clean all day long. So they get, are they tripping?
She was like standing on her head for a second.
Crazy. So they get a fresh pool and fresh bowls in the morning, and then they get a fresh pool and fresh bowls at night. And we move them inside at night so that predators like coyotes, bobcats, raccoons can't prey upon them overnight. Great question. Oh my gosh.
If you've been here at the zoo and seen our other flamingos, their water is nice and pretty.
Oh yeah, they have filters.
But they
on
have
their
amazing
water.
filtering
Yeah.
system. So
Yeah, this is a dump and fill. So this one just gets drained and then you have to clean it and then fill it back up. The pool on exhibit, like Kelsey's saying, and I think even their their behind the scenes pool is also a dump and fill. But same idea, like they have a filtration system for that whole thing. We don't have that. We're not fancy.
it's quite fun. I should do a video on that sometime.
Oh yeah, it's real cool.
Let's see. Ella asked, do they get clipped often? Yes, you said about once a month if they need it.
Yeah. It's probably, they can go like 3 or 4 months without being clipped before it's time again.
All right, I don't see anything else, Jake.
All right.
Do you have anything you want to wrap up with? Whose birthday is next? Or hatch day?
Oh, that's a great question to ask, Kelsey.
Okay, you don't remember.
Right, yeah, so we had, he hatched out first, and then we had the 4, and the 4, I can't even, let me not even pretend
Okay.
I can remember. Poblano is after the 4, and then we had 2 others. We had Chilaka, and we had Jalapeno, and then Paprika, I think, is the youngest. I think.
Okay,
That's my prediction.
so we're waiting for Paprika's birthday and then hatch season's over?
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, hi. We're just preening over here. This is like nice, like how they pull their feathers out and straighten them up. They'll do that to like your arm hair or your hair on your head. How sweet.
So sweet.
Gentle. So yeah, it's a long birthday season, hatch day season here at the zoo. And he is going to be the one who we have celebrated the most.
For sure.
I'm not good with birthdays, so that's the one.
We love
she
that.
Is. Happy birthday, Ahi, wherever you are.
Right here?
Yeah, that's her. I couldn't even see her face.
I did it.
Good job. Hi, Ahi. Happy birthday. Cute. All right, well, we're going to wrap up our Facebook Live. Y'all, thanks so much for joining us today. Tomorrow, we'll be on Facebook Live again at 11 a.m. Central Time and meet the meerkats, which I'm really excited about. So join us again then. And as always, Chelsea's going to upload this video so you can check it out from the beginning as soon as she gets it uploaded. Thanks so much for joining us today, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.